Hey everyone, welcome back to another discussion for Tokyo Afterschool Summoners. We will be talking about the 7th Housamo anniversary content as well as the Mr. Christmas Evos that released a little while ago. Joining me today is Salgus.
Hello there, it's me.
Hello. You can find his content in linked in the description. Also, I need to change the filters here. Discussion music, 50%. Yeah, sorry. And Irby is joining also.
Hello, I exist.
Yeah, so find their
today
channels linked in the title of the stream. They are added there. Let me know if the volume's fine. It should be. I think it's a bit too loud actually. I'm gonna go turn it down right now. Alright, let's do this. We will be starting off with... what are we starting off here? Sorry, I'm a bit tired, guys. We're starting off with
Takemaru.
Yeah, we're starting off with Takemaru with the Evos. Go ahead, Irby.
Okay, so finally Takemaru gets his... Takemaru gets his skill evolution. And it just sucks. Basically, they increase the range of his weakness. Instead of just being thrust range, it's now in thrust range and also thrust to left and right. So it's basically just a 2x3 box of weakness, which isn't really enough for anything outside horizontal maps, which is a shame. So he can actually support other units, like shot units and snipe units and whatever, to clear the entire column with that weakness. And the percent increase and the skill activation rate did not change. It's still at 80%, which isn't guaranteeable with skill seeds alone. He does not have any way to increase his proc rates, so this is going to be a very shaky application of weakness. On top of this weakness application, he also gained a damage boost against weakness, 2x damage boost against weakness, so that's going to help out with his damage. His damage was okay, but now it can be slightly better and more on par with other thrust damage dealing units. And to top it all off, he also he also gives weakness advantage to allies in a 2-square cross radius around him whenever he moves. So, but it's also not guaranteed. It's also the same rate as the weakness application, which is 80%, which also isn't guaranteed, but I guess it can help the other 2 units beside him to just clear their own almost column, because it's not enough range. His weakness application is not enough, so you probably need someone else to apply weakness if you're doing a taller map. And on top of that, I think the most important part of the skill evolution, which isn't much to say for really, is the skill lock application, which has increased in range as well. Now, instead of just being in low range in front of him, it's in a T-shaped range, like slash and thrust range combination. It's 100%, but still very lackluster. It's a shame that these ranges are very trashy because they only allow for application of these debilitating debuffs that aren't really that uncommon to begin with on such a short range. But at least this one is guaranteed and has no skill seeding requirement. It's also after move, so you can prevent enemies from triggering their on-head effects, because usually sometimes enemies have these nasty debilitating effects whenever you hit them. So since the skill lock application is on move, he's going to be able to avoid all of that. So I guess that is something. something else also changed, which is remove all buffs, which is not really that important in my opinion. Basically, he now removes all buffs. This removal of buffs continues to be only every 3 turns, but the radius of this has increased by an additional square. So now it's in a big pyramid range, just like that's flat damage reduction. It's not going to help a lot, to be honest. It's the fact that it's only every 3 turns is really debilitating, and the fact that he doesn't provide a lot for his team is still pretty shitty. His movement expansion did not get improved since it just runs out after the second turn, so you can't even reliably clear three phase stages with him continuing to have this movement expansion. His proc rates are still pretty bad. He still only bestows ardor and also weakness on the enemies only at 80%. So all of these damage amps aren't even easily guaranteeable. And to top it all off, his survivability also did not change that much as someone who is meant to be at the front and also take a few hits to revive allies, which sucks.
Sorry, the stream, did you see what just popped up?
Yeah, I'm figuring it out. Keep on talking, Irby. I just apparently I think I accidentally deleted the chat element during my last setup. I didn't even notice it until now. So keep on going on. I'll try to set up until then.
It's fine, because I also didn't have anything else to say other than he's still a very shitty unit, but he's slightly less shitty now that he can actually provide some measure of damage amplification to his allies outside Ardor, which is still very limited, might I add. So it's not even that good, but at least the skill lock got a ranged increase, which was honestly probably the only reason why people would unironically use Takemaru before this skill evolution. So I guess it's fine that the skill lock got a very, very small range increase. It's not fun. But yeah, that's all my thoughts.
I think the range increases are nice, but at the same time, they're also still small because they're only increasing what was already horrible ranges. I think it's funny though that Takemaru now has a slash thrust skill lock, and you know who we recently got who has a much better skill lock range? Teramighty.
Yes.
Teramighty has it's on hit and 2 enemies hit and those adjacent.
Yeah, but so what if the enemy in blow range has a debilitating effect on her? What if it's skill locks her? Well, actually, she has the skill lock immunity or something, so it wouldn't even matter.
Yeah, she has partial immunity anyway, so. I mean, to be fair, it's kind of unfair to compare anyone to Teramighty at this point, or or to compare like these mid-tier, lower tier units to Teramighty because she's just ridiculous. But yeah. I do think it's nice that they increased the range, but his ranges were already so bad, he really needed more than that. We have plenty of like weakness bots these days, and the skill lock is, I mean, it's nice that it's guaranteed and not just blow range, but it's like we have methods of inflicting skill locking things that, while they're not guaranteed, sometimes they're reliable enough and have way better range. So yeah, very mediocre, as he deserves.
Wow.
So unfortunately, this is one of the units I wasn't able to take notes for because I've been just busy with the other content I produced, which you can check out. But I did note this earlier before the stream. It's worse than you think. even though the range seems like it can be extended now to like reach, for example, Ramu in the chapter 13 attack state quest, or even in the main quest, it's still not going to work out for the remove all buff just because of the timing. Because when the enemies put up their buffs, that's on an enemy turn start timer, which actually happens after turn start. So essentially, you'll be removing buffs which aren't there, and then they'll give themselves a defense buffs after. So that's pretty much a dead feature. The only thing that's really useful, questionably, is just the weakness stuff, which is an okay amp, but like for a 5-star, really, it's just weakness that's not guaranteed. Plus an amp to allies that's not guaranteed, that they need to move forward, that's at a poor spread with his only temporary extend movement, and the skill lock, which is it's an okay range, but I don't know. It's like why? Tower Mighty could just do everything better, even with a better spread too, because her skill lock actually spreads unlike Takemaru's. So even then, Tower Mighty actually does have a better range than Takemaru just for that. It is absolutely absurd.
Tower Mighty also inflicts weakness.
Yeah, she does. And she also has that free 1.5 times multiplier that is guaranteed, the non-buff strength thing. So there's like literally no reason why you'd ever want to use this unit.
You know who else gives weakness in a 2x3 range and gives advantage to weakness? Summer Oz.
Yeah, well, it's part of the reason why it's not like...
It also gives louder.
It's part of the reason why it doesn't feel that redundant to use Summer Oz with Tower Mighty. Just because it's like, he doesn't have that much range anyway, so at least Tower Mighty can spread it to everyone. But we're not talking about Tower Mighty and Oz here, we're talking about Takemaru, who is non-Ozable and is also fucking terrible, so I have nothing else to add on this unit. I have him. I got him for the grab bag, so I'm disappointed. But whatever, I have a lot of other busted units.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
By the way, the chat log is cut off slightly at the bottom.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Calm down. I have to remake it from scratch. Calm your tits.
It's fine. I can just move to Sitri now while you arrange that shit.
No comments.
Is it fine?
Yeah, you should.
But I can just read them all at the end since they're all covered by me, anyways.
Okay, if you want to do that for now, since I don't have the chat ready, anyways, yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, so you can keep on working on that.
Okay.
So, let's go. Sitri, everyone's favorite skill evolution, which is not true because this is also a dead skill evolution. Basically, what Sitri got was an increase to his blessing advantage from 1.4 to 2 times, which is okay, I guess. He also got arousal after moving at 90%, which is whoa! It's everyone wanted. I guess you can now spread arousal, with him, which is.
One moment, Arrow, change the slide.
Right, sure.
Arrow.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Lost him forever.
I'm here, calm down. Okay, there you go.
He muted his mic, so it's probably something is happening. I can just continue talking. And
it's fine.
He changed the slide now.
Sorry, the mic's got desynced. I'm being a bit careless today.
Now he can also spread. He also got arousal for free, and it's guaranteeable. But the big thing he got with this skill evolution is that he now bestows blessing to everyone when he appears on the board, guaranteed. But also bestows blessing strengthening. Now you'd think this would be a damage boost, but it's not. It's actually a skill rate increase by 10%, which lasts for 10 total turns. Which is okay, I guess, if you need someone to boost someone's rates to more manageable rates, like for instance if you don't want to skill seed a unit, or if the unit has shitty Takemaru 80% rates and you want to guarantee them with your skill seeds as well. It's kind of like a glint when he appears to everyone, which can be handy, but it's not anything new, and it also doesn't last forever. So this blessing will last for a total of 3 turns. So after these 3 turns, Sitri will need to apply blessing by himself and then spreading it to everyone, which is going to take at least 1 turn if his 70% procs. So he can proc it when he hits and then spreads it on the next turn, which is kind of shitty if you're using him for longer than 3 phases. But also you'd only be using this unit for longer than 3 phases anyways, because this is mostly a unit primarily catered for challenges and maybe dungeons where you want to spread their evasion right at the start to get a heads up and advantage. So that's pretty much it. I would mention his vertical movement increase, but it's just not really that worth it. You always want him at the front anyways. So this vertical movement increase, I don't think it's relevant enough to be worth a big mention. So C3 now deals a little bit more damage, and now can be slotted into a team to work as a 4-star miniature version of Valentine's Arc, I guess, to give everyone that prayer, which isn't prayer, it's blessing strengthening. Even though it's going to last less turns, maybe the only turns you need, and he now can give some CP to allies on the next turn through arousal. That's barely anything, but at least he has something guaranteed, unlike something new guaranteed, that unlike Takemaru. He's still pretty shitty though, so I still wouldn't recommend using him at all. And that's all my thoughts on Citri's skill evolution.
I mean, to be fair, he can reapply blessing.
He can,
kind of easily. His range is mediocre though.
Doesn't he have to be hit or something?
Yes, he has to.
When hit?
Yeah,
No, it's after is when he hits, not when he is hit.
Oh yeah.
So
confusing.
So you actually need to waste 1 turn because the blessing on everyone is going to end. So in 1 turn, no one will have blessing, and then C3 will need to gain blessing and then have to move on the next turn to give blessing to everyone. So there's going to be that downtime there in between. There's going to be on turn 4. There's going to be a blessing downtime, unfortunately.
I feel like they didn't really, like most units who have spread buffs and those sorts of skills dealing with like buff management, usually they have like a lot of buffs to themselves, but C3 just has vigor and evasion, and only once. I think it's kind of funny that they didn't really they only gave him arousal, and
he does charge his own CP very fast, so the idea is for him to charge and start giving ardor and combo to everyone, stuff like that. But yeah, that's...
Well, unfortunately, I can't see what his CS is.
He gives himself Glenn's ardor and combo. That's pretty much it. But it's on blow range as well.
So I guess you really should stop relying on looking at the video slides, and you should just have a page open yourself. Jeez.
No. Fine.
Yeah, it is a skill evolution, at least.
Let's convert to C3's face.
It's a mediocre skill evolution. Like in the day and age of like units like Fafnir, for example. Although it's honestly unfair to compare someone like C3 to Fafnir, but just, I mean, we also have what's his face, Summer Gulenbursty, was it, who can spread a ton of buffs, if I'm right.
No, it was McCroy, I think.
McCroy, not was it?
Yeah, it's McCroy.
Well, yeah.
Spread buffs. He does it a lot better.
Yeah, this Evo just, it doesn't really help C3. Like, wow, he can have a okay prayer. I mean, that's cool, but I mean, prayer generally doesn't make or break teams. You need actual attack and defense numbers, or debilitating debuffs or something like that. And Sitri doesn't do that, and this Evo doesn't give him that either. So, not a great Evo.
Did anyone mention blessing strengthening stacking?
No, we didn't.
No, but I guess you can if you really want to.
This is the only thing I can say is maybe not even worth it, but still kind of a meme. There are currently a ton of units that give blessing strengthening now, and it's nice to have Sitri on board in that case just because he gives blessing to everyone on board instantly. There are a couple units that have blessing strengthening selfishly, such as Bertro. I believe he gets like a 2x damage modifier if he gets it. As well as Asterius, as Raider's variant, he gets like a 30% activation rate bonus to activate his crit easier. There's also some other blessing strengthenings you can give to allies, such as with Sunshine Shoji, who actually has a good blessing strengthening that multiplies damage by 2x on everyone on board for 999 turns, which makes you raise an eyebrow why this is just a rate amp for only 10 turns. There's also Gangstar Jurong or Nobumichi, who give the same kind of blessing strengthening. I think it's just like a defensive one, but whatever. And then there's the Boogeyman Lei Bayar, which gives like 2x amp again for blessing, but I believe that one only lasts for 10 turns. And more recently, which we will talk about, is Masashi, who has like a 1.5x blessing strengthening advantage. So yeah, there's tons of choices you can pick from, and maybe you'll actually want to come up with a blessing synergy team. It's kind of interesting what they're doing with blessing. We've always had these strengthening effects for a while, but it seems, at least with blessing, they're really, for the first time, exploring having, entire teams potentially being built around a single status just because of the abundance of this sort of dependent buff. But yeah, that's all my thoughts on Sitri.
Okay, then I guess we can move on, if there's nothing else, to the final skill evolution.
Just a small correction. Bertro's blessing strengthening is 2.5x attack and 0.3x defense. So it's by numbers probably the most powerful buff.
Bertro strong, as is everyone else in Gangster. All right, we'll move on to the final evolution of this batch. This is going to be Kalki, which he might not be able to guess since his face is covered right now. Let me move this out of the way. There you go.
It's fine. So this is probably the better skill evolution of the batch, which isn't saying much, to be honest, and at least in my opinion. So basically, Kalki had this thing that he removes all buffs and all debuffs to himself every turn, so he can keep refreshing them over and over again. So to take advantage of that, he also now gained an after buff small heal to himself, which isn't guaranteed, unfortunately, but it will definitely help in his survivability. But the most important part here is that he also gained a lot. He also gained a lot more stuff to his kit. He now has combo at 90%, which allows him to fish for his 3 attack buffs more that he has when he attacks enemies. So now he can just attack twice and see if he can get all the attack buffs. So and it also is a slight damage increase, even though it's not really that big. The skill evolution unfortunately did not increase his potential damage much, but what it did increase was his reliability on that peak damage he could reach, which wasn't super high in comparison to units of these days, but that's probably not why you'd use him anyways. He also gained Spirit as well, as another after buff effect. It helps him deal flat damage, but it's mostly there just for the after buff, and really, it has no other purpose. Since he's going to be rolling for these buffs every turn, you can potentially roll here for a total of 6 buffs per turn, which is quite a lot. If you add that with after buff effect, and if you pair him with something like the single Bulls Club AR, he's going to be charging his CS all the time. and it's going to help him heal himself back up, which is pretty nice. But the main thing you probably want to use this unit for, outside of challenge quest means, since he's mostly used for that, is the removal of debuffs on enemies in snipe range of him. So now on move phase end, he basically bestows a debuff buff resistance to all enemies in snipe range, which is at 90%, which immediately makes him better than Turing, and it's also better than Souls because he can also be at snipe range completely safely. So this is probably the unit that does it better by himself, that it isn't just like Christmas Nomad moving into someone else or something like that. So you can just bring him to the chapter 13 quest and just leave him on the Ramu column, and he'll just remove all his defense buffs anyways, automatically. So he doesn't even need to kill everyone in his column. So long as he's there, he's going to instantly remove all the defense buffs, and you can just blow everyone else up anyways. So that's his primary new utility that he got from this skill evolution. It's probably the only reason you'd want to use him anyways. Although I will point to the fact that he is a pretty strong solo unit now. If you have that AR, if you really want to meme around, you can try that, I guess. But defense buff resistance, very good. If you don't have a means to bypass it in the chapter 13 quest, and are still doing it. But yeah, those are all my thoughts.
Yeah, he seems to be a perfect counter, or the missing piece to whenever there's like just a single bitch that has a bunch of defense buffs. So quintessential chapter 13. I think he'd work well with the Shiva as a result. River Shiva blows everything up, but then can't do anything about Ramu for the most, unless you're investing a shit ton on his amps.
So I was using Summer Shiva with Soul, but now with Kalki it makes it slightly it makes it slightly easier.
A lot easier, I'm sure. You don't need to position as difficultly, and slotting wise, Kalki can go anywhere because of the more generous move time of move phase end, and it's guaranteeable. Unlike, is Souls guaranteeable? It might be both.
Yes, it is. They're both guaranteeable. It's just Turing's that's 80%, which isn't.
Fucking Turing. But yeah, I think Kalki is actually someone worth pulling for. I probably should have rated him higher when I did my original eval of him, but it is just, besides chapter 13, I don't know how often that HLE is going to be used, but he essentially does act like a perfect counter towards evasion and defense buffs for any other challenge as well, which has predictable stuff. He'll just be your standard comp clear otherwise, but I think that's his weak point in terms of not having reliable damage. So in the end, he's just there to kind of support some other comp clear, is the gist I'm getting from him.
Yeah, I feel like this Evo is obviously the best one of the batch, because this is actually how you make an Evo that builds on a unit's original role and, actually meaningfully improves it, not like Sitri who got Arousal, or Takemaru who got mediocre range increase. Wow. So, yeah, just the negation of defense buff resistance is great. At a massive range, it's very easy to use. And honestly, I've used Turing's defense buff removal before in some setups, and yeah, it really is annoying that it's not guaranteeable, or not easily anyway.
Oh, I forgot to say this, but the fact that it's move phase and debuff, defense buff resistance, it also means that ACS will also bypass defense, and like the other units like Soul and Turing, which is pretty nice, I think, in my opinion as well.
Kalki, good. Okay.
Yes. Okay, I can read all the comments now, I guess, if there's no more thoughts.
Good luck with that. Maybe you should have actually read it one at a time. There's a lot.
I don't think there is.
I think
It can't
Fatney
be
had
that
more.
Yeah, probably. Okay, stream. Okay, I'm not gonna read my own comments. How mad? Stream Elements bot running. Hello everyone. Reporting Harvey for Stream Elements botting. Running emoji. Hi, it's nothing. Yay. Hi everyone. Takemaru, he's hot, and that's about it. Our game ended us. Crying emoji. Takemaru skill set deleted. Robot emoji. He's actually the cornerstone to my Chapter 14 Attack Blossom quest. I wouldn't be able to 2-turn without him.
Oh no, not the Takemaru
Well-
apologism.
Well, I can see it. Thinking about it. But also, there's better options, probably.
Really?
Love that Takemaru doesn't even give himself weakness advantage. He already has a weakness advantage. Yeah, he already does have a weakness advantage, and it's higher than the one he can bestow. He could give himself more of a weakness advantage. It's not like he's doing big damage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Damage is not... What?
That's what I'm saying. He could have given himself that amp as well. I know he has 2 times native, but like, there's a big lump of nothing in the rest of his kit, so what's the deal?
He has Ardor.
Shut up.
That's it. Here's my favorite cool cat. Thanks for subscribing, Jort. Stream Element says. Hug emoji. Cool cat, more like mild cat. Cool cat saves the kids. Why did they give him vertical movement expansion? He'd be a nice 4-star vigor spreader with horizontal movement expansion. Well, I think everyone made the same question about him getting vertical movement instead of horizontal movement.
I
But
think vertical
I don't think
movement
anyone
is...
cared enough to talk about it.
Horizontal movement's better when you're farming, or like in general. Vertical movement does have its uses, so it's not like Lianon's completely useless without her vertical movement, right? It's better for like advancing a zone, as an example. But you know, Citri's always going to be in the front anyways, so it's like
Yeah,
big
it's
question mark.
pointless. Citri's always going to be in the front, so it's kind of pointless part of his skill evolution. But then again, most of his skill evolution was kind of pointless, especially the arousal. Why the square face cat emoji?
Because
Oh, right,
when I
the
place the
blessing
video on top
strengthened
of his face.
Oh,
I'll have to modify these assets later so that I can fit video footage on them, but this was just something I whipped up together for now, so, as you know.
alright. I haven't been watching it. Our TikTok stream. Hello, Father, I need more stimulation. Where's the Family Guy clip? Harvey. Alien planet woman heart emoji. I don't know this man. Interrogation mark or whatever. Question mark. Exclamation mark. And 4 question
You don't need to
marks.
read
Really?
every single punctuation, jeez.
He has a Burger King combo meal. Stream Elements bot running robot emoji 3 times. The bot didn't even say anything this time. Peace sign, purple. You taped his mouth shut. Breaking heart emoji. Free my mans, he ain't done anything wrong.
I mean, it seems like he's still
At
working.
Arathon
He
trying to
notified
keep it
about the
together.
subscribers, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, he did that. The Stream Elements bot will live on. Shiva usage, vomit emoji. Shiva usage, relieved emoji. Use Oz for the Attack Blossom quest. Also, I noticed Ara's stream because your Discord showed that you were streaming. YouTube doesn't show me notifs. Yeah, I actually don't get notifications for your stream somehow sometimes. Even though I pressed the bell button.
Press the,
Yeah.
the bell.
Click that bell and smash the like button.
And the bell that no one knows what it does, but yeah, go ring that bell because I do have a lot of streams, and these streams don't really get much what's called advertisement from YouTube after they're done, so it's always good to see them when they're present. Anyway, we will go ahead and move on to the ARs. I'm talking slowly because I'm looking for the button because I'm frazzled here. There it is.
How would people not know what the bell does with all these damn channels that go, hit that bell and blah blah blah?
When they follow channels like mine and they don't say that constantly, I guess.
Maybe you should.
Maybe I should. Okay, so we are now going to be talking about the Mr. Christmas commemorative AR featuring Agyo and Sitri and Chernobog. And I said that as long as possible again so that I could scroll over to where I need to be. I have like almost no notes on this because there's like almost nothing you need to use this for. It gives you a bit of a CP charge and it gives you freeze resistance. The restrictions of these units make it so that there's actually not really many units who would benefit from it. The most obvious... What is this? Yeah, maybe go ahead and... Oh my gosh, none of the mods are here. I'm gonna have to delete this. Actually, I'm gonna do something first, and I'm gonna make Joe into a mod. Alright, Joe. You have the power. Starting now. Anyway, what was I saying? This AR is not super useful because it's... there's a lot of units that could benefit from having a bit of CP. That is the ones that start with CP, so they're very near building their charge. And, oh, Azino, you took your time, jeez. Sorry, chat's making me distracted here. And I looked through the list, actually. There's pretty much almost all of them have been excluded, since most of them are not shot or snipe or the 3 listed units. The only unit that could actually get their charge instantly from this AR is Summer Oz. So if you want to desynchronize his, unguaranteed turn for some reason, it might be useful then. But other than that, I don't really know why you would ever want to use this AR. There has never been a case where you'd really want to use an AR for the resistance effects. And I just noticed, this AR gives you freeze resistance, but it doesn't give you, freeze stack resistance. So they've been kind of... getting kind of lazy when it came to updating for stacks nowadays, as we can see from this exhibit. But yeah, go crazy in the thingy chat and delete those bots. And also, not just delete them, but ban them. Anyways, that's it for this topic. We're going on to the next AR. This AR is going to be the Yukimura AR. Actually, before that, did you guys have anything to say about this AR? The Chernobog one?
Not really. The art's cute, I guess.
I hate the AR because we could have got a Tomte and Dead AR. That sucks.
Who cares about Tomte?
Well, I don't, but I thought it was a very nice moment at the end of the event that deserved an AR. And suddenly, Chernobog and Sitri and Agyo for no reason, even though...
You'll have your free sauna AR of Tetsuya getting punched in the dick, and you'll enjoy it.
I guess that is the only Mystic Christmas AR that will ever exist.
Okay, thanks for the input, guys. I think I'm just gonna go to the next topic. We're gonna talk about the Yukimura AR right now, and it'll be done in a blink of an eye. What this AR does, I almost skipped it because there's almost nothing in my notes here. It makes you resist possession, and that's it. Only equipable on water units. Just like the other dungeon ARs from the story, it's useless. There's a case where you'll want to use it, but it's not for farming and it's not for challenge quest. You'll only most likely want to use it for the one times that possession has been threatening for non-farm quests. Which is to say, you might want to use it for the main quest when you're facing Yukimura or Ramu. But if you're watching this stream and you're actually interested in the cutting edge of gameplay, it's very unlikely that you have not beat those bosses already. So yeah, we'll just move on. What do you guys think about this AR?
It's definitely possession resistance. Yeah, there's nothing to say about it. Possession is so rare to be pointless.
It's what we were already expecting, since the effects of all these exception ARs were already data mined very, very long ago. So it's okay. I don't like the art, but whatever.
This is the only horse we will get.
It'd be nice if they like
As
modified team AR cost after letting us equip multiple ARs, and let shitty ARs like this just have 0 cost. Then I could see like maybe half a justified use for it, but otherwise, nah.
Also, is his arm behind him on backwards?
No, he's just bending it. I don't know.
It kind of looks like he would have had to 180 his elbow there, but I did think it looked weird. Also, for some reason, every time I look at his face, I keep failing to catch his irises and keep thinking he's still in his exception form where he has, the crazy eyes.
No, they always have the proper eyes for these IRs.
Yeah.
He's just got an intense stare.
The Toji stare. Alright, moving on.
Yeah, I guess they just didn't change his expression. Like with Fisher King, they made him smile, I guess.
Which is bizarre.
Just remember
well, they did kind of make Fisher King into a dork in his writing after. But, if this guy's supposed to be like Toji, then, it's to be expected. He didn't change expression. It's fine. Okay, we'll move.
No thoughts.
We will move on to the Viral Influence Anniversary AR. This AR is equipable on anyone, and just by that merit, it has a lot more strength than I would normally consider. And it also boosts ally points, which is nice-ish. But it's not a very good AR because, let's review this charm effect. 70%. Don't we already have an AR like that? We do. It's the short range one for the Tsukiyomi LE one for the Outlaws C booster. And that one actually boosts a good resource. This one, slash ranges, can have more limited use. Its only benefit is it can be equipped on anyone. So you might want to, for example, slap this on Jurong or Tsukiyomi so that they can refresh depots, but then you'd have to move back immediately after to spread that charm. Other than that, ally points is not really an AR you'd ever want to boost, except for very situational circumstances, and only if you care enough to remember it, which is in the weekly quotas. We sometimes have in the weekly missions, sometimes we have a daily quest quotas, and I feel that might be a case where you want to use the ally points, because the best use case for these ally point booster ARs is in the quests with the smallest amount of stamina, since you get the same amount of ally points either way. So that would be either, for example, the 5 stamina quests from the daily quests, particularly the Coin Scuffle one, or the level, what's it called? The Stamina 2 quest in Shinjuku, aka the very first free quest you unlock for half staminas. It would be just 1 stamina. And of course, you'd have to be absolutely insane to actually bother farming any of that, but you're not going to be strategizing around the ally point at all, to be honest. Except if you're me, but even then, not really. So the charm might be okay, but that's it. Any other thoughts, guys?
We already had a better charm AR.
I literally just said that, but okay.
Yeah, I know. And just reiterating that this is a disappointing effect. Also, why is it 70%?
It's just so it matches Hakuma.
Yeah, I was thinking it's just like Hakuma again.
I mean, Hakumen has a thrust range, if that helps. I mean, it kind of does, actually.
So it's even more. So, yeah, I think AR bad, but especially bad because Ben 10 and Typhon are on it.
Is that it, guys? Okay, we can move on.
Yeah, there's not much to say about this.
Okay, same thing with all the ARs. Last and not least, I saved this one for last because I did think it was a better one. The Viral Influence on Stage AR. This one has the effect of boosting tokens, which I feel you'll be using even less with the level boost, with the level cap boost that happened recently to +20. That said, the effect itself might actually be worth remembering. what it does is it gives you a 1.5 times boost in damage every time you are holding a removable debuff. And this is a lot more general than you think, because we actually have a number, because this can be equipped on any unit that uses debuffs natively, or or is built to take debuffs, will benefit quite well from this AR. And we have a good list. There are units that start with debuffs and make use of them already, such as Volstaslav has that curse strengthening and debuff strengthening, I believe. And Nightglow's Kasuga has conflagration strengthening, two conflagrations actually. One that boosts damage and another that boosts defense and charge fill, if I remember correctly. Then there's a River Jugo with his curse and stigma and countdown strengthening. And then there's Halloween Police Toji with his curse strengthening for his board wide 6 times multiplier, I believe. There's Unfurl the Seals Typhon after his Evo, where he does inflict himself burn at a chance every time he charms someone, and he can now benefit a bit more with that. And there's Tangoro Mugen, who actually copies the buffs or the debuffs of his allies, steals them rather, and also has debuff strengthening. So that works out quite well for him. And Tadatomo's Chapter 13 variant, I believe, also burns himself. So these are all the units that could find that debuff themselves already. In addition to this, there's also Jamboree Aizen, who doesn't actually debuff himself, but naturally gets a lot of debuffs happening to him just because he picks up a good amount. So even though he'll probably delete his buffs if you could use it, if you happen to have a bunch of debuffs on board and he can't remove them all at the same time, remove them from his allies but not from himself, then he'll be able to exploit this AR as well. So I think it's a pretty good AR effect. I know it's just a 1.5 times boost, but honestly, LifeWonders is pretty stingy when it comes to boosts on ARs, and every time we get any kind of boost on an AR, it's always nice to have. That's all my thoughts on this.
I think you should use it on Virtual Summer Memory Algernon.
Okay.
No.
The joke is that he has non-debuff strengthening. But
So
anyway.
you win-win. It's a
Yeah,
win-win.
you always have a 1.5 times boost.
That is the biggest brain play ever.
Anyway, the more serious thing is that you didn't mention any of the Shennongs at all.
Ew.
For good reason. Yes, Shennong poisons everyone constantly. Well, sort of constantly. So he could make use of this, but then you'd have to use Shennong. So yeah.
Also
no.
use it with Hester as well after the first turn or something with his party members, because he gives debuffs to everyone or something like that. But who cares? This AR is shit. I think it can be useful but the fact that this is not the free AR, it's the shop AR, which you need to spend a bunch of shards on.
Okay, don't listen to Irby. He's also the person who didn't redeem the Invaders AR because he thought he'd rather save the tickets, even though it had one of the best art and the best effects.
This is definitely not worth it, though. For a 1.5 boost, if you already have all the XP boosting ARs and already have the other AR boosting AR, the Tashta and Amatsumara one, I think it's the Amatsumara one, then this will never be needed outside of like dungeon campaigns, coin dungeon campaigns or seed and blossom dungeon campaigns if you're doing that to optimize AR token drops, but that's pretty much it. It's permanent. You should never get this unless you're in dire need for AR tokens, or really think you'll ever need that 1.5 damage boost, which I don't think you will, but who knows? That's my thoughts.
Okay, thanks for covering that. As a last side note, I actually forgot to mention something for the previous AR, the one that inflicts charm, but Summer Shiva can actually equip that, and you might have forgotten, but he actually does have a 4 times multiplier against charm, so it could be useful for certain challenges in that case. But yeah, I'll go ahead and read the chat now. Holy crap, where have we been? Anyone remember when we last left off in chat?
I think it was.
I think it was something at Jer's comment.
Yeah, YouTube shows me notifications.
Okay.
Yeah,
Guess
it's that one.
Yeah, I see. Guess I'm a bigger R fan. You certainly are a big R fan. I've seen you for quite a few years now, so always good to have you around, Jerry. I have it. I actually do. It's just YouTube being stupid sometimes. Yeah, I don't really get how the notifications work. Thank you for taking care of the bot. Cursed stream. Yeah, this stream is a bit cursed because of the reduced amount of joiners and us talking about Mystic Christmas and half the content being ARs and Mystic Christmas. And the only reason everyone's sticking around is for Masashi at the end and Serena as a spammer bot here, but you know, we've had worse streams. That is definitely true. Making show a mod for you, Sacrilege. I just made you into mod, as you may have realized. I should probably make a Salgus mod too, but he never chats, so I can't make him into a mod until he says something. I did make Irby into a mod.
Hello.
On that way, no. But what about all the quests that have freeze? No, there's none. It's a cute looking AR. There's like the corporate quest in main quest, but that's like stackable and this doesn't give you stackable freeze resistance, which is dumb. You have the power. Every time you see Sitri's face in the AR, you think of that picture of you from Fortnite. Don't say I remember that. Christmas, Agyo, Smiling Buddy. So the AR is okay. I mean, this last one is okay. The other ones are kind of whatever. You don't use them. You love Tomte? How dare? He is definitely an elf boy. It's an okay AR. You're just happy you got more Chernobog content. Who's Tomte? He's the one that was featured in Mystic Christmas. Finally, Housamo. Yeah, it's nice to see Yukimura again after all this time. Well, at least we'll get Bind Resistance AR in 5 years or something. That could be okay for challenges. Like, Possession is much rarer, but Bind is fairly, like, decently common in challenges, so it'll be nice if we got that. ARs have cost? They do, but yeah, they're not really used since the max cost just matches the max amount of ARs you can use. He's just wielding his sword backhand like a Naruto ninja, and you can only equip 5 anyway. Dibs! Wow, finally I can give anyone a worse version of Hakumen's Charm Spread. I mean, you can double roll for it too with Hakumen now, or you can use a Summer Shiva to get that 4 times damage advantage. Phase Start Charm? OMG, Jurong sucks. I mean, it does work okay-ishly while it was Jurong, but, you know, at that point... honestly, Jurong can't equip that many great ARs, so I guess it'd be okay with them. Nice AR for Tungur Mugen. Wait, you had no idea that AR existed. That's an Andy shop? Yes it is. The first effect is nice, but boy, did you wish it was actually boosted a drop rate of something useful. Yeah, maybe this coming year we'll get some boosts for gold certificates if you get a gold certificate quest, but until then it's just gonna be Seed and Blossom and all that stuff. The new 4-star AR. Read the chat, they always release one on Annie. OMG, Nikos Kasuga stocks. Despite what I said, I will continue not to use Nikos Kasuga despite me having him. Hecate would be good with this, right? Hecate's partner would be good with it. Not Hecate herself. Like the 6 of you, your brother, Benton, Typhon, Fenrir, and Ifrit celebrating together. Yeah. I don't know what to add to that. It's kind of sad though that we are actually technically a part of Viral Influence, but you know, we'll never actually be visible on the airs ourselves, obviously. Someone that she supports, yes. I wish it wasn't a shop AR either. What's new 5-star shop AR coming in a month? I'm looking forward to that, of course, though. Hopefully Irby actually picks it up and stops being a total doofus. Oh, there's us jumping in so you can get mod privilege.
That's right. Also, all these default emojis are kind of lame.
They're pretty good. Don't be lame. Don't be a hater, Zalgus. Like, they need to make their own ecosystem of not just being a Twitch copy pasta, so I think they're fine.
I can't express myself without my Discord emote, sorry.
Well, you can always become a server or a channel member on my channel so that you can use my special emoji, which is only 5 right now, but if more people join, I can add more emoji. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Anyways, we are going to go on to the new Transients of the batch. From the 7th anniversary Transient summon, this is, of course, going to be covered by Zaga, since me and Ruby did a bunch of talking in the beginning. So go ahead. We are going to be starting with Quantum.
Oh, I thought I wrote my notes in the wrong order then. Let me scroll down.
So we're ending with Masashi.
Fine. Right, so here we have Quantum, or Schrodinger's cat. And Quantum has two distinct phases which cycle turn by turn. On odd turns, she can't attack, but she's very difficult to actually damage. And on even turns, she can attack and just throws debuffs at everyone's, but she loses all of her defenses. So before we get into her two phases, I'll go over her stuff that is out of phase first. On phase start, she applies poison weakening to both herself and the entire enemy board, turning poison into a 10k HP dot effect. Given she can apply poison herself, and poison is generally useless anyway, this is a pretty nice step up from the 200 HP dot to 10k. She also applies HP loss after buff to enemies on the entire board, which makes enemies lose 3.5k HP after gaining a buff. While there are some buffs you can intentionally place on enemies, like Anchor and Blessing and Guts Resistance, and I guess Ardor, I don't know if the reward is all that great, but yeah, there is potential for a silly setup where you use units who buff the enemies alongside Quantum, and then they just lose all their HP. I mean, we'll see if someone does that in the future. I don't know, that could be a funny video idea. After moving, Quantum gives confusion resistance to self and allies all around, which is fine, I guess. It's there. Confusion is pretty annoying when it happens, but it doesn't really happen that often, and I feel like you're probably better off just forming a team around it. Although I guess you could just use Quantum to negate it completely. Also, Quantum has Omni expanded movement, which is always nice to have. She only really needs to move on even turns, though. Although I guess it is also nice that it means that on odd turns you don't move her, and then on the even turns you can reach where you would have if she didn't have expanded movement. But blah blah blah. It's nice. Right. So let's talk about her two phases now. So on odd turns, so 1, 3, 5, etc., she is highly defensive and very difficult to kill. On turn start, she gains damage reversal at a 100% rate, which just makes her heal any incoming damage, besides end of turn debuffs, I think. And this alone essentially makes her immortal on odd turns, unless the enemy can remove it. And when Quantum misses, she also grants damage reversal to her allies adjacent and HP loss reversal to allies all around. So not only is Quantum immortal, anyone adjacent to her is also immortal, which is great. Again, unless the enemy is able to remove your buff or nullify it or whatever. Damage reversal is a pretty rare status. Only Oscar for the first 4 turns and Hermes on CS can grant it. So it's pretty great that Quantum just has a guaranteed 50% uptime on it. As long as your units aren't getting outright one-shot on the even turns, Quantum will just make them unkillable and probably full heal them on odd turns when they get hit again. So she's definitely a step above other team protectors who just use standard defense buffs, because Quantum can just outright negate it and turn it into healing. Because it only has a 50% uptime, though, you need to make sure that you actually have some way to deal with the even turns when the defenses fall. It does no good if you're immortal on half the turns if on the other half you get blown up. So you'll need to play around that. Bring defenses or debuffs or whatever to actually protect yourself on even turns. On miss, she applies black box to an enemy 2 squares in front. This is basically just logic bomb. Fucking phone going on. Yeah, it's just logic bomb. Apply a debuff to the enemy 2 squares away in front. Unlike logic bomb, black box goes off at a 100% rate when the enemy is hit, causing poison, confusion, and darkness to the entire enemy board. It's very debilitating, and unlike Turing, there's no need to mess around with the stupid 50% detonation rates. Quantum's black box will always go off, and also, like Summer Volus' terrible logic bomb, I guess. While Quantum can set it off on her even turns, you can also just have someone else hit the black box immediately after she misses. So that's something to think about, just because the sooner you can take advantage of the debuffs, the better. You can inhibit their movement with confusion, or just reduce their defenses or offenses with darkness, and also CS lock them. Also, while in her defensive phase, she gives herself 14 CP when she misses, and it's also when she can best take advantage of her 14 CP before being attacked, because she can get attacked for free. As long as she's in her defensive phase, she'll just heal up all the damage and also give herself a lot of CP. Now, on even phases, or even turns rather, Quantum Weapon changes herself to all range and attacks. So immediately, because she's all range, she can detonate the black box and debuff the enemy board if someone hasn't already done this. And she can do this anywhere, as long as, you know, she actually debuffs someone. So make sure she's actually standing in front of, or, you know, 2 squares away from someone. Quantum can move on even turns to grant poison advantage, which is 2 times, concentration, and remove debuff to allies all around. And also, when Quantum attacks, she applies weakness as well for a total of 4 debuffs combined with Black Box. So in one attack, Quantum can globally reduce defense, attack, CS lock them, and also apply a powerful dot. So she's really good at just spreading her debuffs really quickly. By turn 2, they'll have a ton of debuffs on them, or by turn 1 even, but she also has weakness on turn 2. And her CS is all range, 10k to 20k flat damage. It applies poison, heals all allies all around, and also grants combo to herself. It's nice that she grants combo to herself, because this means she doesn't miss out on the benefits of whatever phase she's in. If she's in her defensive mode, she'll still miss and apply Black Box and damage reversal after her CS. And if she's on offense, she'll still apply that global weakness. So I think adding the combo was definitely a well thought out addition, because there's a lot of characters who, like, when they CS, it kind of ruins their entire game plan because they want to actually normally attack. But Quantum doesn't have that problem, so that's very nice. Yeah, so that's Quantum. On one side, she's a powerful defender, and on the other side, a source of many global debuffs and a pretty good damage amp, actually. With concentration, weakness, and poison advantage, I think she has around a 10 times damage multiplier. She does have to move to do it, but and also you need to wait until turn 2, because she only gives the advantage and concentration on even turns. But yeah, her kit, I think, is actually kind of general enough that you can pair her with any number of units and find success, because really you can't say no to invulnerability and damage amps. You know, you probably want to pair her with attackers with some range though, so that you can better set off her black box immediately, and also to just better clear out the board. She does have a special synergy, I guess, with people who scale off of debuffs, because she applies so many. She applies 4, and that would be Summer Volos, Kirito, and Halloween Alice. With 4 debuffs to work off of, Kirito and Volos get a 5 times advantage, while Alice will grant everyone a 3.8 times advantage. And combined with Quantum's poison advantage, the weakness, and the concentration, that makes for a 53 times multiplier or a 40.5 times multiplier, respectively. You could, in theory, also pair Halloween Alice with one of those other 2 to combine the advantages, which is like a 205 times multiplier, but Kirito and Volos kind of have shitty range, so I don't know if you really want to do that. But it's definitely a team comp you can do. Anyway, for AR, she doesn't have any particular synergies, besides the free Kamui Moritake AR, which inflicts freeze on hit to enemies left and right of her target. Unfortunately, it's only 70% rate, much like that other damn Annie AR we just got. And it doesn't apply to the enemy that she actually hits, but her all range gives her a decent chance of just spreading it everywhere if the enemy's clumped up. And it's free, so you'll have a max level freeze for even more damage. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think she's definitely interesting. I'm sure there's plenty of both meme teams and like normal teams you can put her with, and she'll probably find success. But the most powerful thing is really just to make everyone invulnerable half the time, and not just invulnerable, give them a massive heal, probably. That's about it.
Cool.
I think this is like what you should have done, what LifeWonders should have done with Kate Sheets' kit of random bullshit go, because this is really just random bullshit go every 2 turns. She does a bunch of things, and they're all pretty reliable and very good. Outside of that, I don't think she really specializes on anything in particular to call her like this. She's a this or that. She's primarily a supportive unit, yes, but she has multiple ways of supporting a team, either, as it was said before, either through damage amps or the very powerful damage mitigation, flat damage, and soul debuff cleansing. So I think she's okay. Very, very good unit. That's it.
I think I disagree with that assessment that it's random bullshit, because unlike Ketchi, it's like clear what the 2 states are, and they're 100% predictable. Unlike Ketchi's order of buff switch doesn't even make sense, and is also none of it is guaranteed. It's like
they also don't tell you in game
the sense of the role itself.
No, Ketchi is useless with his random bullshit. Even when he gets
exactly, that's why she
was Quantum is more predictable.
Something
and
like this would be better.
I think Quantum isn't just random bullshit go. It's just, it seems like that on the surface just because there's so much she does in both states, and it's very easy to forget it, that it kind of feels like forgetting about Ketchi's individual buff cycles, which is more understandable. There's the offense and defensive one, but you can boil it down as the offensive turn and the defensive turn switching between, but then there's like some weird overlap in the team as well with supportive stuff that doesn't really go anywhere, like the remove buff, or remove debuff rather, with the concentration bestowal, and only if you move her, and then sometimes you can activate it yourself with black box yourself with a combo. It's a bit tricky, and sometimes black box can activate on the turn of you give it, other times it's on the next turn because it lasts for 2 turns. So I feel like you're gonna forget how to play with this character. That's the biggest weakness of this character, I think, which is kind of funny. It's not that she's a bad unit, it's just that there's too much going on that you like. A lot of units just functions more simply and with great effect. Whereas Quantum, it's like you have to galaxy brain just to make the best use of her. And also, I feel like she's harping a bit on the way Nausea's designed. Maybe not specifically Nausea, but more so characters that are designed to have their own game plan and force you to play around it to get the most out of them. Because it's like, on top of facing the enemy mechanics, now you have to pay attention to, is it the even turn or the odd turn, and like who has the block box and who's gonna hit it, and does she have combo, and how are you gonna, are you going to run away on your offensive turn so you don't get hit, or are you going to run forward to get hit on your offensive turn? It's like it changes your behavior, your normal behavior in gameplay significantly when you start playing around her kit. And, I have mixed feelings about that. At worst, it's like Nausea, where I feel like it's a severe liability for too little payoff. I do think Quantum's payoff is pretty good here, but it's just severely held back by just there being too much things to make it worth remembering. It's like the quest itself might not be difficult if you master it, but the difficulty is then transferred over into putting enough space into your brain to remember every single fucking different thing she does between even and odd turns, and who has back box and what debuffs are set and what effects are going off, and yeah, it's like she's a challenge quest all on her own just to learn. And I actually see that as a detriment for everyday play. It might be good as a meme if you're master the kit, but once you did that one meme, it's you're not gonna bother remembering this unit's kit It's just too much effort over the long run.
The quantum physics are too much for small brain Housamo players to handle.
Look, I can understand her kit, but the moment I'm done using her, it's like I'm gonna immediately forget it. I know how this works. Like, you learn a really complicated piece on piano, like I've done a few times before, and it's satisfying once you get to do it. But then you just do other things after, and then you forget how she plays after, and it's like, why did he even bother spending all the time to learning her kit? You know, she's not gonna have longevity for that matter just because it's gonna be too difficult to remember it in the long term.
Yeah, even though I said she was a general unit, I really don't think you should like pick a team with quantum as something that you would normally use, because it's probably going to be difficult to think about, like whenever you pull it out.
Is that it? Okay.
That's it.
Well, yeah. I don't know. Do you want to talk about?
That's fine. That's fine.
Do you want to talk about how she's a good representation of Schrodinger's cat, the thought experiment?
Yeah, I think.
Or I could talk about it.
Do you want to talk about
it? Kind of, yeah, but you may know more about it than me. But I'll give it a quick overview. So for those who do not know, Schrodinger's cat is a thought experiment where a cat is placed in a black box, and there is a vial of poison and a sensor that detects, I think, radiation and a radiation emitter. And the radiation emitter shoots completely randomly, and if it hits the emitter, the vial of poison will break and the cat will die from the poison. But until you open the box, you cannot know whether it is alive or dead. There is zero chance you could know. So something about how it's in a superposition of being both alive and dead at once, which is how Quantum's kit is supposed to reflect that. On phase 1, she has complete life. She basically can't die. But then on phase 2, everything starts dying, possibly including her, because she loses all her defenses. It's also why she has extreme poison weakening, as well as the enemy. So it's a very nice thematic kit, I think. Do you want to say anything about that?
Oh, sorry, I was muted all the time. Her black box effect is quite nice because of all of the effects it inflicts. Confusion, as in fucking quantum physics is confusing, and darkness because you're inside a black box, and poison because of the poison in the story. And that poison's strengthening makes it, a lot more lethal. I'm not sure if he even mentioned it, but yeah, she'd be potent with Kushi on board, Halloween Kushi, because she actually has like a dot that's comparable to Countdown, like half as much, but combine Countdown with her regular poison strengthening, and you'll be able to do, how much damage is that in total? Maybe like 90,000 of flat damage. I think that'd be the most in the game, which is pretty impressive. Situational. It's interesting though, because normally you'd want to use that setup with like Oz and Kushi and Shino to inflict Countdown on everyone. But it seems that the fourth unit you'd want to bring would normally be Jurong, but you'd have to replace Jurong out for Quantum. So that kind of fits well with her supposed rivalry in the relationship chart, which I think is interesting. But yeah, that's all my thoughts on this unit. We can move on to the next topic if you want, or we can read the chat.
I should probably read the comments. Oh yeah, also don't pair Quantum with Shenong, because he'll kill her, because he'll poison her.
That damage reversal. Oh wait, she doesn't
apply it to herself.
Okay.
So she'll have 1 HP come even turns. So yeah, don't do that. Unless you're doing some silly meme setup where you intentionally get her killed. Don't do that. Where were we? Oh, it was the Moai. Bear is good. Bear emoji. Yeah, it's pretty good. Stop talking about Kimun Gaylord. A clapped emoji. Talk more about Kimun. I definitely didn't go check on the oven right now. I'll be making pizza again. Zhurong doesn't like him. Wait. Quantum. Zhurong doesn't like her because Boogeyman likes them both and they have a rivalry or something, but it's just a theory, a game theory. Yeah, I think Boogeyman's her teacher or something, or someone who like minds her. I've seen some art of them actually. Comparing to Nanako, yes. Ara waiting for schools to be added to the affiliation system so he can make the ultimate team with Quantum, Zhurong, and Boogie. I mean, Quantum's not even... Actually, is Zhurong part of Shinjuku?
Yeah, he's from the Shinjuku school, the academy, the elementary division, I believe. You know,
okay, so...
You know Boogeyman's from Shinjuku Academy too,
I know
right?
he is.
That's how we met him.
And
you know that
I know he is,
his teacher, right? So...
Well, sorry, I don't read.
Yeah, evidently.
The biggest mystery is Quantum's gender on the wiki. Well, I didn't know this, but is she listed as male or is it unknown?
He's listed as male.
Oh, great.
But it's fine because they've not been caring about gender. These past releases, like Reprobus doesn't have gender as well. Neither do the F-Kari characters. Neither does Masashi.
The other thing gender affects is when on a player. It doesn't affect the characters at all.
Yeah, pretty much. So
perhaps their genders are all in a quantum superposition. No, Schrodinger's Coochie. Insert Walter White falling down meme. I don't know what that emote is. A purple face that looks nervous. Thinking emoji. Wish I had Quantum so I could try out Quantum Horus synergy.
Limit.
Oh, right, for guts on the even turns, right? Or I forget how Horus works.
I guess that's
Horus,
true,
right?
yeah. I have him, I forgot about guts on even turns. That would work, actually, yeah. When is her defensive turn? Is it on, like, it's on odd turns, right? So that would be pretty good.
Odd turns, because she starts with
Wow, how did I not think? I was actually trying to think of it. Was there any other, like, units that could, like, cover off turns? And I just couldn't think of any, but apparently Horse was one.
Yeah, when I was writing my notes, I was trying to think of units who could, like, apply evasion or something onto the even turns to cover her blind spot or her defensive blind spot. And there are no such units who apply evasion or something like that on even turns, unfortunately. Although they would be inevitably a good pair for Quantum if they apply it well enough. But yeah, I guess you can also just use Horus, because then well, no one can die.
Yeah, well, unless they have buff removal, but yeah, either way.
Well, yeah. There you go, Ara. There's your next team idea.
I mean, it'll be dependent on if anyone even decides to keep up Quantum beyond this campaign.
I mean, you can just ask me.
That's...
The War of Housamo wiki comments trying to find out the child's head gender. Yes. I like the new touch of videos in the stream. Actually very helpful.
I'm glad you think it's a good thing rather than something that's falling apart. It was me half-assing it with, like, duct tape.
Well, I did notice that it was covering all of her kit, but I assume that was after I finished speaking.
Yeah, I started doing that once. I mean, I didn't really decide until we reached Quantum Spark, but I think it'll be a good idea to show it on full screen once we're done, talking about the kit itself and in the discussion part.
But then it's showing stuff like Masashi and presumably Sitri.
Well, the looping function I have to do manually every single time. But
yeah, I guess that would be the sort of thing you would need to set up in advance.
Yeah.
So on a less scuffed stream.
It's just a proof of concept.
Actually, Ara, do you want to read this next comment?
I already lost. Sorry. Oh yeah. Hi. Just watch your stream, your last video, and as a new player, that was super helpful. Thank you and keep it up. Thank you. I stayed up until 6 a.m. last night to finish it, and I was working on it since like maybe 11 a.m. that day. And also I've been working on it for like several days before then. In fact, I already had some script written for it as far back as when I was still making the reprint videos, so that video is a long time in the making. And I still need to make the shorts, but at least I can relax the time a bit more now. I'm kind of sleep deprived, which is why this stream has been a bit scuffed, but hopefully when I feel a bit more rested, things will finally start having a bit more polish again. But yeah, I'll try to set something up to make it look a bit more polished for future streams where the video is in prominent display without looking like it's a bit of a mess. And, without me accidentally deleting chat, apparently.
Delete chat. Let's see, sparkly heart emoji. Arrow in chat. Moon Knight. Random bullshit, go. I'd love to stay, but I gotta go hang out with friends. Have a nice day, nerdters. Mentors. How dare you, show. Hi guys, can't stay long today, but just wanted to pop and say hi. Hi, Gene. I can't believe all of our regulars are leaving. Quantum was released too late. Everyone's brains were smoothed by Summer Shiba and Summer Oz teams. Yeah, Quantum's really not the sort of unit where you can just slot her in and go brain dead. You do have to, have a proper game plan, and it probably won't just be move on the spot repeatedly, like Summer Oz or Summer Shiba. Off-turn guts, yeah. I forgot Horus existed. My mind instantly went to base Hanuman for some reason.
Intrusive monkey thoughts.
I don't remember what he does, but I'll assume he
does like evasion, every other turn bestowal to his allies, or I don't know.
Oh, that. Yeah, I remember that. I don't want to use Hanuman, sorry. The #1 Hanuman stand. You will perish by my hand. Okay, that's all.
Okay, we're moving on to the next topic. And final topic of the batch. This is going to be Masashi. This will also be covered by Zalgus. So go ahead whenever you're ready.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say move the video, but... right, so we finally got the 8th Hakkenshi. Well, I was more distracted. Well, wouldn't it be bad if it was still covering it for the stream viewers instead? But I have my notes anyway. Right, so we finally have the 8th Hakkenshi, Masashi, the bearer of the Orb of Faith, I believe. He comes as a snipe unit who just kind of deals a ton of damage personally, but he also has a decent amount of support for his team. So, on the damage side of things, he has 3 things. He has Ardor, Concentration, and Attack Up. Attack Up is only when appearing, Concentration is on odd turn starts, and Ardor is on even turn starts. So this means Masashi needs at least 1 turn to reach full power on his own. On move phase end, Masashi will also apply weakness in snipe range at an 80% rate, which is kind of 90% due to his concentration. It's on the best trigger timing and is a debuff rather than a buff, so easier for stacking. If Masashi is at 100% HP, he will additionally inflict weakness in the 2 columns adjacent to his column. So something to note is that the 100% HP trigger is 90% rate, which is higher than his snipe range weakness, which is 8%. So he can get a 100% rate weakness without even seeding, assuming his concentration goes off. Otherwise, it just means Masashi gets to fish for his weakness twice, which makes it all the more likely that he'll at least inflict the weakness in the snipe range. It's a 98% chance for at least one of them to go off, assuming concentration fails. So it's a very reliable weakness as a result. And he also grants Blessing Strengthening to self and allies globally when appearing. It's just a minor 1.5 times boost. We talked about this a bit earlier. But Blessing is fairly common and long-lasting at 4 turns, so it's easy free damage. Masashi also gives Blessing to self and allies in a 2 square diamond radius, move phase end, so he can self-sufficiently apply it for the free damage buff, but unfortunately the rate is 70%, so Masashi can't guarantee it himself. But he can at least he can give him Blessing without any effort. So all in all, on turn 1, Masashi will deal 23.5k damage with Concentration, Weakness, Blessing, and Attack Up. And on turn 2, with the addition of Ardor, he will deal 56.5k, which is a massive amount with aid from other units. For comparison, here are some of the other damage dealers. Snipe damage dealers. Christmas Jiraiya is 11k, Christmas Kalki is 14k, Otohime is 14.3k, Summer Akiha Gongen is 17k, Summer Arslan deals 23.8k, and Wakan Mugen deals anywhere from 32 to 80k depending on the distance to his target. Although he has the worst rate at 60%.
If you're reading out a raw list of numbers, it probably would have been better if you prepared a visual asset for it.
Yeah, I thought about doing that, and then I was tired, so I didn't do that.
Okay, well, maybe just don't mention the numbers next time. No one's going to remember that.
Well, the idea is just that Masashi does like a buttload of damage. Like, damage-wise, he's right at the top. Even on turn 1, he's competing with Summer Arslan, who himself does quite a lot of damage on turn 1. And on turn 2, he's matching with Wakan Mugen, unless Wakan is sniping someone at the very tip of his range and also gets his concentration. Masashi also deals 2 times damage against enemies with Blessing, but unfortunately Masashi has no way of actually inflicting that himself. So you'll need to bring someone who can actually inflict it for him. And unfortunately Masashi can't equip the AR which gives Blessing on hit, which is the Zabanya Arslan AR. That would have been a rare moment for it to actually be useful. There are a few options for applying Blessing to the enemy, but it's not really practical. Most units who do that are kind of meh, I would say. The first one who came to mind was Babylon, who is bad, don't use her. There's also units like... there's also Festival Ryota, who has to do it on move. Masashi doesn't have to move at least, so that slot is filled. But I personally wouldn't really get too hung up about the Blessing strengthening, because it's not very practical to play around, or the Blessing advantage rather. Right, now for the other half of his kit, which is mostly supporty stuff. When appearing, prayer to allies around, and horizontal movement expansion to self and all allies globally. Prayer's a rare buff, so it's nice that he can auto-grant it. The range means it's limited to being guaranteed to whoever spawns right next to Masashi, like so slots 1 and 3 or slots 2 and 4. The horizontal movement expansion, however, it only lasts 1 turn, but it's great for setting up your positioning immediately. Notably on tall maps, Masashi can go with literally anyone who he wants to go with, because Masashi will always make sure that whoever you want to move is always in range, because now everyone's got the horizontally expanded movement. And so that greatly increases the team flexibility for tall maps, since you can just guarantee any setup you like, all just for bringing Masashi in. And he himself is, of course, with his ridiculous snipe damage, great for it. Great for tall maps. Phase start increased recovery is whatever. Masashi sometimes gets Blessing, and that's all his healing besides his CS. It's useful for a different reason, which is just that it's a buff, which I'll get into later. Anchor to self and allies are when attacking all around, and nullify buff to enemies hit left and right. The anchor's nice since, of course, Masashi will be probably sitting all the way in the back sniping, and with anchor it means he can't get pulled in, and it also means whoever is probably defending him, because he should have someone in front of him ideally, will also not get pulled away from him. And nullify buff is there, I guess. It's conditionally useful whenever, but it is one of those sorts of things that I feel like no one really plays around nullify buff most of the time. So Masashi has 2 skills designed to encourage someone to stand in front of him, and for Masashi to just hide behind them. He has move phase end, bestow protection on the ally in front of him, and a 200 HP heal after hitting to the ally in front. The heal's kind of minor, so it's nothing great, but the protection is more interesting. It's a 100% before being hit protection to self and ally behind, so Masashi, and it's pretty nice as an automatic defense because it doesn't require any movement, and it's a 100% rate. You probably want to pair this with someone like Valiant Hawkeye Kamui, who grants himself tenacity but not protection. Also because he grants a bunch of buffs to Masashi. But yeah, anyone who can stand in front and grant buffs to the person behind, and Masashi will just make them tankier. Which brings me to the last part of his kit, which is his the benefits he gets from buffs. So, on buff, Masashi gives himself and allies all around 12 CP at a 50% rate. Unfortunately, the base rate is pretty ass. It's 60% with his concentration. But because Masashi gives himself so many buffs, it's actually quite easy for him to get his first CS by turn 2, which is when his damage will be at his best, because he'll have his Ardor by then. Masashi gives himself 5 buffs before the move phase for a maximum of 60 CP on turn 1, and Masashi's CS is all range and grants him crit plus while removing a debuff on him for each enemy hit. Grants prayer to allies all around and heals himself and allies in a 3 square diamond radius. The big thing about this is the damage. Assuming all of his buffs are on him, he'll deal 108.8k, and if he's inflicted weakness, it becomes 261k, which is a lot of damage. It's a massive nuke, and that's with just his own skills. Also, like Summer Kotaro of the old days, he removes debuffs off of himself constantly, which can be nice for those maps with enemies who have when hit skills like the Shinjuku dungeon, and that's definitely the old one. Now, the CP skill wouldn't be particularly of note because other units also do this, but I think it's notable for 2 reasons. The first is that the other units who gain CP on buffs don't really have the attack power that Masashi's nuke all-range CS has. They also don't have the range. So there's like Jormungandr, Ulaanbaatar, Janmari Kagetsuchi, Inaba, etc. And none of them really have the same destructive power that Masashi has, and they don't have the range either. They have like magic, snipe, etc. So yeah, Masashi just does more damage and is all range, so it's notable as a just board wipe. And the second is that unlike a similar unit, Cthugha, he also gives his ally CP, which can quickly turbocharge their CS too. Cthugha is definitely a throwback unit to an old strat, although it works in pretty much the same way. Cthugha gains 16 CP for every buff at an 8% rate, so much better than Masashi, but he didn't give it to allies. And you would just use Lianan with him and fire off his CS repeatedly with massive damage because of Lianan. And Masashi can also do this. It's numerically less reliable simply because his base rate for his CP is 30% worse. But Masashi's damage is way, way higher than Cthugha's. On his own, Cthugha will at most do 76.6k damage. And Masashi is like over 200 at most, or almost 300k even. So, and because he gives ally CP, you can also leverage their CS or CSs if there's more units near him. And yeah, the most obvious choice, and the one I've been actually using, is Lianan. Lianan will give Glint, Ardor, Vigor, Limit, Arousal, and 12 CP. And with odds like that, it's actually very hard for Masashi not to get his CS by turn 2. And Lianan will also get her CS because of how much CP he's outputting. So Lianan will now also give him crit and guts for his big nuke. That's probably the most obvious and easy to use example, and probably the most practical, honestly, for a nuke setup on turn 2 though. If you want to do turn 1 CS strats, which you can, it's probably not going to be as reliable because you don't have that 1 turn of like downtime to say get arousal for the end of turn CP and whatnot. Now there's plenty of other setups you could do for damage, but Masashi is honestly at his base is just a really powerful and easy nuke to use. You just put him in whatever column you want to delete and he'll probably delete it, or you could turbocharge him with CP and buffs to become an all-range CS nuke. As for ARs, you probably want CP for him or buffs to fuel his CP, or you could also get the evasion piercing from the Otohime Yamasachihiko AR, because that is actually one thing that he's missing compared to other snipe units. He can't PS evasion, unlike Christmas Jiraiya or now Christmas Kalki. But nothing ALs can't fix, I guess. Or you could also bring CS multiplier ALs. If you want, by the way, if you want just face start CP, then it's the Arc Searcher 3-star AR to just give him CP. So besides Leonan, there's a particular synergy with that I'll mention, which is with Nobumichi, because it's lore appropriate, I guess. I'm assuming that they're designed to be used together, kind of like Yasura and Tanatomo were. Nobumichi will push enemies in the column left or right in front of him, and that's where Masashi can snipe them. Nobumichi grants crit and blessing strengthening to allies behind him. I mean, the crit's shit, but never mind that. And he also copies all of the buffs of the person behind, of which Masashi has plenty of. And with the horizontal movement from Masashi, Nobumichi will get Omni movement for the one turn. And Masashi can also provide healing for Nobumichi, which lets him get back up to 100% HP for the evasion on move again. It's something interesting, but like that, designed together. But I wouldn't really advocate you actually do that, because it's much easier to just put Masashi into like a Leonan team or a team with many column clearers, because he does weakness on all 3 columns. He basically just and because of the horizontal movement expansion, he is like tailor-made for tall maps. So just use people like Christmas Nomad, or I guess Summer Labe. Yeah, Summer Labe is actually nice for him. I've been using him with I've been using Labe with Masashi too for all the buffs and damage buffs. Summer and Vari, anyone who can column clear, and Masashi will go well with them. But yeah, that's about it. You can give more examples of column clearing if you want, but that's it from me.
Cool. You wanna go first, Herbie? Herbie!
What?
Herbie's in the oven.
I was definitely here the whole time for the Masashi conversation. But yeah, Masashi, strong. Very strong. Undeserved. That's my thoughts. That's my...
No.
Undeserved because I'm petty and none of my faves are strong. That's why. That's why. But yeah, he is a very strong unit. Possibly the strongest unit released this year. Or at least up there.
That.
Unfortunately, Summer Labe exists.
Yeah, that's alright. Yeah, that's true.
Half
but
near
still,
two.
He's pretty up there. Okay, Yara, sure.
Oscar released this year too.
He's
Are you serious? Come on, guys. Really?
I am serious.
I didn't say anything.
But he does a lot.
I'm not saying he doesn't. He's like definitely one of the strongest, maybe top 10 or possibly even top 5, but definitely not number 1. What the heck?
He's close enough.
But he's the protagonist.
He has a lot of support. Yeah. I hate protagonists.
Well, I mentioned that he kind of just dunks on tall maps, but yeah, in wide maps and large maps, his effectiveness will go down a lot. Well, unless you just rely on CS strats instead, which you could do for wide maps where you can't leverage his weakness as fully.
He's fine. At least he's not an old unit that got an undeserved skill evolution. At least he released Busted, which is okay. And yeah, I don't have a lot of thoughts for this unit because I barely even looked at their kit. I just knew that they were super strong.
Maybe I shouldn't have let it with you then.
Yeah.
I think Masashi works well. He certainly talked a lot about his like board-wide charge, which of course is important. I was more focused on his, column clear synergizing utility though. And I think what's important to note about Masashi is, unlike all the other centerpiece column clears, such as Nomad or Eita or Kurogane, Masashi is the first one that doesn't need to move. And in fact, this kind of does the opposite and gives everyone a boost in movement. So in that sense, you can have like two centerpieces working perfectly side by side to just completely, squash these kind of columnar tall maps by having overwhelming utility. And I do think he synergizes quite well with Eta, as I mentioned in the server, because he is able to give extended movement, which covers Ita's main weakness, and Masashi has the weakness of not really being able to pierce any defense buffs. And that's...
Masashi, not Musashi.
Same thing. So he can't pierce anything. That's his main weakness. He doesn't really have too much utility besides the movement expansion. Well, I guess that's plenty of utility, but he doesn't have an important utility of countering any of the defensive effects from the enemy. And I think Eta existing and pairing well with them, covering those bases, is someone who can pierce all defense buffs and give every innovation piercing, and benefiting from that extended movement, and also benefiting from the extra damage amp that is completely mutually exclusive. Works very, very, very well. That's just one example, though. He can work with Kurugane too. If you want to just constantly attack from the back through backline column clears instead of frontline column clears. And feasibly, he'd probably work with Nomad too, for similar reasons. He'd work with Eta.
I like this video you've got going on where everyone on the team has a super expanded horizontal movement because it's stacking.
Yeah, that wasn't on purpose, but it just happened to be that way.
I don't think there's actually any real practical application for that, unfortunately, but that could be something in future where Masashi enables someone to zip across the entirety of a wide map, because, say, they have... Well, I guess Israfil can do it, but because he has super expanded horizontal movement, but never mind that, I guess. I wouldn't bring Masashi just to enable something like that. Well, probably not. That sounds silly.
Okay. You can read out the chat now, and then we can close off the stream.
Are you gonna do it?
Oh, sorry.
Oh my god. You actually came here for this? Okay. Let's hear it.
My mission.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Harvey.
Very much autissimo. Thank you, Harvey.
Accurate footage of Masashi gameplay.
Harvey said he didn't want to join the stream, but as you can see, it's not because he was busy. It's just because he just didn't want to join the stream for Mystic Christmas, I guess.
Just because he wanted to appear here in this section to just spam the soundboard. Because that's much funnier.
That Brat needs correction.
Wow. Wow. Someone said Twitter. Someone said on Twitter, rather, he looks like a Tamako character, and I just crying laughing emoji. Does he? I don't really agree with that, but I don't know. I haven't seen enough Tamako art. Hello, I'm back. Hi, show. I got him both sets. Congratulations, he's very good. I paired him with B Shadow and McCroic variant and Oscar support. I was mainly focusing on getting his CP at max. Just use Leonan. Or I guess the McCroic is giving him a ton of stuff. And I usually have full CS for everyone on second turn, giving Masashi crit from Cherno and crit plus from McCroic. Yeah, the fact that he can turbocharge his ally CP while also being a nuke himself is nice. Like I said. I mean, second phase, but what else? Triple crit stacking meta, yes. Yeah, it's really easy for Masashi to get absurd damage. Yeah! Thank you, Harvey. The only real complaint I have about Masashi's kit is the nullify buff timing. Otherwise, he does kill really good. Oh, right. So yeah, since the nullify buff is after hitting, it means it won't work to stop, like, before being hit buffs or when hit buffs. So that kind of sucks. Honestly, it really is kind of a mediocre trigger timing, but I mean, for any buffs that they gain on like phase start or like when moving, etc., it'll work to nullify it. You could also just kill them instead, but yeah, that is a sad thing about the nullify buff. Here we go with Ara talking about Eta again.
Is there a problem?
Yeah. Well, not from me, but monkey with a hammer and a hard hat, probably. Finally, Ara TikTok. Final sword doggo. Between
I
Masashi
wanting to
and
do this for a
Musashi, I want sushi. What, the TikTok?
I mean, you guys are joking about it, but it's a gameplay discussion stream, right? I was always thinking about how, like, you know, in those, like, League of Legends menus, when you, like, look at a character and then they show you the specific skills they apply. Same thing for Overwatch on their website. Kind of want to do something like that.
No, because they're bad.
Well, you got the idea. They at least show the abilities.
The demonstrations, that is. Yeah, I do.
So I've always wanted to do something like that. It was just a matter of getting the footage.
It's funny to call it TikTok, though.
I mean, yeah, I'm still not really sure what to put this video, whether it's full screen or just make it tiny somewhere. I'll need to brainstorm.
You should put it alongside those satisfying clips on the side of people. Yes, those satisfying clips of people.
Oh, you mean those videos of like 10 minutes of satisfying footage, and it's like,
yes,
like something
you should do that side by side, so it can finally actually be TikTok.
That's probably better for like a casual meme stream or something.
I think maybe you guys should start making some new video ideas yourself instead of leaving me to do all the new video work. I'm kind of exhausted from all the video work.
It was a meme, alright. I wasn't being serious.
I know, but I will seriously consider it, even if it's a meme. But you guys should consider upping your game too.
I mean, I don't think. I don't actually think.
Great translation. Sorry, Yara. My recordings.
Okay.
I mean, that's actually a valid reason.
It's too much effort.
Alright, yes, there is. Whatever that was a response to.
So we are going to finish up now.
Alright, that was a response to, is there a problem with Eta spam?
Yeah.
And he says, yes, there is.
Everyone needs to know, redeem Eta from the Rainbow Ticket. If you don't have Masashi, anyways. He's actually a really good pair with them. Tested and tried. Anyway. We are done talking about anniversary. I'd normally be more excited, but like I am running on 3 hours of sleep here, so I will let you guys.
You went to sleep earlier than me.
You know what time I woke up? For some reason, my body just woke up at the exact same time, so I didn't get much sleep as a result.
Go back to sleep.
Well, I haven't been able to since. I'll try to do that after this. Anyway, you guys lead off. What do you guys think of the anniversary? What do you guys redeem from the Platinum Ticket Exchange? Or that was the Rainbow Ticket Exchange, if you got it. What did you guys get other than units? Or, you know, what units did you get and what items did you get? And,
I have redeemed nothing.
Don't be Sagas. Everyone don't be Sagas.
I have like a week to redeem them or something.
It's
the
fine.
Platinum tickets you have until the end of December too, but for the tickets or buying the tickets, this nomination limited big ticket, those are only until the end of this week. So make sure you get them right this week if you're planning to eventually pick something out. You don't have much time for it.
Well, as for me, I got coins and blossoms, and that was it. from the platinum tickets.
Don't be RB.
And I do not regret them, even though I've been farming blossoms every day until I'm actually out of stamina drinks now. And I still feel like it wasn't enough, but it's fine.
Oh yeah, you just reminded
One day,
me. I haven't farmed at all except for that one stream, really, and occasionally. Normally I hardcore grind a lot harder. You should do that
because it's ending.
It's not my fault.
It's
I normally would, but it's like freaking. What was he talking about? I'm tired. I'm just really tired.
You should farm while playing Letter League. There you go. That's the perfect exercise.
But you need to strategize and try hard in Scrabble.
I mean, that's kind of what I do
Same.
during during that. But yeah, in terms of the nomination tickets, I still don't know if I'm gonna get them. Like, obviously I should, but also I've reached the conclusion that the best choice would probably still be Wakan. And although the problem is that I don't want Wakan, and
Just get him. Stop being a bitch.
the reason I say this is because that he's like the only unit that's going to be on the grab bag I wouldn't consider pulling on at all.
you're
if
saying you're
the
saving
event
for the
distribution
grab.
is
What is this logic? You have to pay for the grab bag too.
maybe, but also most of the units I want are like on the other grab bag. So the only reason why I'm saying that I should get Wakan is because he's the only one of my considerations that is on the other grab bag. All the others like Valiant, Aether, and Nether are all on the second grab bag, and Wakan is on the first grab bag. So maybe I will get them, but I don't. I still don't know if I want to spend money for him.
Okay, well, yeah, but
People
until the
should,
end of the
but-
week to decide.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I redeemed. What did I redeem again? I did it on stream. It was Shiva, Summer River Shiva for the gold rainbow ticket. I did not get the 4-star ticket. I would recommend against it because there's some nice choices there, but is it like worth an entire pack just for one 4-star unit? I'm not sure.
You can get such a 3-star.
Shut up!
Very
God
important.
damn it, Irby! Why do you keep on bringing that up? No one wants to hear about Triton 3-star anymore. He was redeemable last time, and I'm sure he'll be putting under some garbage like that.
You can equip Kool-Aid.
Oh my god,
Very
be
cool.
quiet. And for the platinum tickets, I got 2 guild certificates and the skill seeds and 1 batch of coin. So that's 5, and then the last 2 tickets, I think I used it on Yuma and Jordan McCullough. So overall, 1 gameplay pick and 1 pick of a character I just really like, because I do like Jordan McCullough a bit. Anyway, sorry, I'm tempted to just be like, I'm out of here, bye guys, but we're on stream, so I'm gonna put on the.
I mean, you could.
No, I can't.
I mean,
I forgot to say.
we didn't say anything about the banners.
Right. Well, what do you think of the 7th anniversary banner and the reprint banners? And then, sorry to cut you off.
I think the 7th anniversary banner is good because I got what I wanted off of it.
I got nothing. I didn't get any of the 3 stars, and I spent like 11 tickets on it. It's 11 tickets that could have gone to Jurong. I hate this.
That's sad. But yeah,
I think. Okay, go ahead.
I think that Ban Fenrir and Ban Ifrit should fuck off because they're both. Well, Ban Fenrir is bad, unfortunately, and Ban Ifrit is deprecated and not useful anymore. Because they're just shitting up the banner where you want the cool limiteds.
It's really fucked up. They decided to do like 2 limited 5 stars, and one of them is the Hakkenshi. By the way, if you're wondering about the title of the stream, it's Hakkenshi Stans Are MAD because the final Hakkenshi is a 5-star that's also limited. That's also tied to the shit banner that for 2 units that are appropriately featured in Anniversary, but nonetheless did not get an Evo because fuck everyone trying to pull for Masashi, I guess. No constellation prizes allowed. Very bizarre.
I mean, it's always been like this on the banner at this period of the year.
We got
Temujin
Evos. We got Evos for them.
Shinya.
Are you forgetting? We got Evos for them. All right, even if Shinya was a shit, there's some
We
Evo.
got Evos for them on the reprint. No,
we got
that's not
no.
previous.
You're smoking pot. No, it was for the 5 stars that got Evos.
Yeah,
after.
smoking pot.
The 4
Okay,
stars.
fine, Nara, sure.
It was
Everyone
the
will
4
use their skill evolution Shinya now. Okay,
They
sure.
got their
Let's go
Evos.
with that.
Temujin got an Evo with a crit plus thing. Christine got her Evo with the slightly increased weakness or dazzle band.
Yeah, so did
and-
Shinya with his charm.
I'm not saying it
weakness.
was good, but like fucking Ifrit and like Fenrir getting nothing at all. Seriously, come on. Like,
Hey, they already got their Evos. Bind strengthening and conflagration strengthening
Yes.
or something.
no.
Yes, they already got it. Van Typhon can have 2 skill evolutions, but they can only have their 1 skill evolution.
I mean, I don't know why you're.
4-star crash.
I don't know why you're complaining so much, Ara. I'm the one who likes Fenrir, and he's fucking Garbo. He's been Garbo.
Can I
since
not
he
be
released
angry
them.
for other people? Like, seriously. It's not like I pulled Ifrit or, like, Fenrir by accident to make me feel angry, but, you know, I'm just upset that, you know, all of these Hakkenshi stands that were waiting this long for this 8th unit, and then boom bam, they just randomly decide to go random bullshit. They're limited and they're 5, and they're tied to this only 2-week long banner that will never reprint because it's a fucking anniversary banner. And it's like you have to pull for fucking Ifrit or Fenrir. Like, what?
I think you're being overly dramatic. Masashi will be on a banner in like April or May or whatever in some random ass Hakkenshi banner that they always
sure,
do.
I'm sure.
They'll-
But let's be
they'll
real.
they'll
Hakkenshi
probably
stands
do
aren't
something.
gonna wait, right? Hakkenshi stands aren't gonna wait, and they're gonna bite the bullet and get like 1 billion copies of Ifrit and Fenrir.
I mean, hey,
They did it.
I came.
I mean, at least Fenrir is a Jiro as well. It might be useful for them.
No, stop.
But I think the 7th anniversary in general was shit, unfortunately.
Wow. You're just saying that because Benton and Typhon are featured. Don't be a salty bitch.
I'm not saying that because of that.
I agree.
I'm saying that because also the plans for 8th year were kind of shit as well. It's just UI update. Really, I don't care about any of that shit.
The speed update that comes
I think
with
the
it.
speed-
I'm sure it'll be nice to have.
I think the seed
faster running-
update is nice, but I think that's very lackluster for plans of the next year.
They
to be
said they were
honest,
gonna update
but
the anniversary stuff.
whatever.
Did you not like you're fucking shitting your diaper about how Triton doesn't have his own guild or some shit like that? They explicitly said in the plans that they're gonna introduce guilds to, you know, that weren't announced for characters that already exist. That's what they said. Did you not read that line?
They said that it's in the works. They didn't say it's what's coming next year.
That's
so.
literally the same thing. In the works is
Who knows
coming.
when it's
What the
coming?
hell is your problem? What are you shitting your diaper for? Like, seriously.
It's true.
We got... And also, they're
They
going to
didn't-
expand the
it's
guild
not
affiliation
up to
function
next
in
year.
general. Like, right now, it just debuted and turned out quite strong, but there's, like, that coming soon thing, and they might elaborate on that more, and essentially, they're just going to start with guild affiliations. And it's, like, a pretty major update that they could continue updating more on, especially since you keep on talking about how, you know, guildless behavior and really hurts people.
I would have preferred more clarification because right now it's just to be announced, and to be announced means that we have to wait for the next anniversary to know more news. So that kind of sucks for me. So yeah, that's why I think it kind of sucks.
Okay, what would have made you happy
But-
to see as an affiliation, like as a
It
new
made me
anniversary?
happy if they showed.
For
they
the
showed their
7th
plans.
anniversary, we decided to give everyone a guild for free called the No Guild Guild.
No, I would just prefer them showing this new system they're working on.
We also got a
And
new
showing
dungeon.
how
Like,
they're planning to
what's just specifically what would have made you happy? Like, wow, that was a good anniversary. This anniversary, we got a shitload of tickets. We got the most bananas roster for the selector pig ticket, which I would have never expected until 2 years from now that we'd be able to redeem Walk on Mugen of all things. Because like, who knows if he'll be relevant then along with Shiva, but we got him now when they're hyper relevant. I don't understand why they decided to release these super strong units now. It's so busted. And
It's to bait people to pay money, which is, I think, what they should have done last year as well. So that's expected behavior. But also, I wasn't able to redeem the unit I was going to redeem anyways. So shit.
And Vari.
Shit. But
you
yeah.
already have Anvari, don't you? But yeah, Anvari is definitely a must.
I already have Anvari. I was going to get Hogan for no reason other than
I was
he's
gonna
hot,
get
I guess.
Dead. Yeah. I mean, Shiva's obviously better,
But-
but like I would have been happier with Dead. God damn it.
yeah, that was big disappointment for me. So that's why I'm not even sure anymore what to do. Like, yeah, there's a lot of there's some units that I would like to have, but do I really want them? Do I really want them? It's kind of like this mental exercise that I need to do with myself, and that I wasn't ready for, and I'm not happy with it. But I am happy with one thing though, which is that we can redeem 3 times the coin amount from the
You
platinum
are
tickets,
always happy
so
about the most stupid shit, I swear to God.
coin is very important. I
Oh
love
my
coins.
god, Irv.
Yeah,
I
that's pretty
agree.
much
Jesus Christ.
I am happy about the coins. Yes.
We've got to have money.
Yes.
I'd retort more, but I'm just too tired. You have sapped all the energy out of me, and not in a fun way. I'm just dead.
Oh yeah, dungeon also. It's whatever. It's not that hard, which is
yeah,
that it's not as
honestly.
hard as the bloody Aoyama dungeon. God, it's easy.
It was
enough
mediocre.
Yeah, it's easy enough to.
I mean, it was hard when I didn't play it.
To EXP funnel on. I mean, no, they wouldn't, and that's why no one plays Aoyama.
Shiva.
I mean, I do.
I do sometimes, but
I
not
still
anymore.
do.
Yes, we got it.
I'm going to return to Aoyama once I'm done with the Toji AR. So
I'll just keep
never
on doing the
touching
Toji
this
one just to
dungeon
farm the
again.
keys, even though it's not necessary. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm just farming the keys right now, and then I'll have to do the lower tier ones for the stone. That sucks. I wish they removed that, abolished that, and just gave us the 4 stones by doing the highest level one.
Yeah, I'm kind of been
That's
delaying
just
it.
a waste
I'll
of
probably do them
DP.
sometime later. Well, I might do them
Yeah,
this.
it's just a waste of
today,
DP, especially now with we're so EXP starved for the units to reach level 90. They could just abolish these and just give us all the stones, or at least make the XP equal. I don't know. I know that wouldn't be fair, but I don't know. I don't know what they could do. That seems like a waste of DP for me.
Yeah,
to release dungeons like
it's fine. It's just it's whatever. Yeah.
It's a 3-day delay.
Anyway,
Well, less than that, but still.
yeah, I think personally this anniversary was quite good. Maybe they didn't introduce anything too new, but the user interface from the previews of it looked pretty fantastic. I think I actually still have them visible here. Let me see if I can pull them out. Here they are. Yeah, so I think they look pretty cool. This will probably coincide with the speed update as well, so that they don't have to load the entire map screen as well as all the quests at the same time. And it'll also give ARs a new purpose to pull for, since, pulling for gacha ARs is a giant scam, except for art, which you never see except for a split second whenever someone uses a charge, which you're going to turn off anyways. So now we have a good reason to pull for ARs, just for cosmetic reasons, so you can see it on the screen. I'm looking forward to that. Some of the ARs have some really gorgeous backgrounds. And also, it'll be nice to, repurpose my gold into something usable too.
I'll only agree with this update with your opinion of the update if they add a new AR for Shino, which they haven't done yet, with a good artist. I have to qualify that statement so I don't get more of whoever that fuck who's drawing bad Hombre Tigre art.
It'll be the same artist as the one who drew the Choji Ryota one.
Which one?
The recent Christmas one.
There's like,
Right. It looks
unfortunately,
like
I don't
Super
remember
Potato.
that.
Okay, well, lucky you then. But yeah, the UI update and speed update's gonna be nice. There's not too much flashy, but I just think overall, just because they're still, for whatever reason, continuing this trend where we got 1 billion tickets and can redeem every single permanent 4-star unit we missed in the year, is just... It's like, you will never get an anniversary this good in any other game, period. Like, fucking ever. You play Nintendo games and, like, Splatoon as an example, and they give you, like, a trickle of, like, maybe 1 or 2 new items. Here you get, like, a free bunch of shit and a bunch of news to look forward to, and, like, you're just, like, drowning in, like, login rewards, too. It's actually just excessively... it makes the game a bit too easy just from playing in this 1 week, but it's really enjoyable. So thank you, LifeWonders.
You're showing your gacha inexperience there.
I've only heard that
it's a very
gachas...
different thing to be Splatoon and...
Well, I guess, but like I've heard other gachas don't have that great anniversaries, particularly with the MiHoYo company. So I don't know. It seems like
that's not a good example either, because they have the money to not care if they really want.
Okay.
Although I've yet to have the anniversary for this game.
Anyway, this end race is good. That's it. Thank you for joining, everyone. Sorry for delaying it, but I'm losing my step here was the next logical steps. The next content to be coming out will be What is the next content to be coming out? I'm gonna release some more shorts. And I need to update the tournament tonight since I actually don't have the next post ready. It seems that Breaka's finally kill. And Oguchi's finally out, so I can start using regular
As
art
it
again.
should be.
The only reason I started using those cursed real-life art is because none of the units had like in-game art that was in common. Oguchi didn't have any A art, so I had to resort to that. But now I can use variant art too. Anyway, look forward to those shorts and more updates on that tournament, which should be ending soon-ish. And I'll most likely also schedule some more farming streams before the week ends, but we'll see. And yeah, check out Irby, aka Nametaker's content, as well as Zalkus's. Again, on the title, they make some good stuff. And that's it from me. Have a good anniversary, everyone, and have a good winter season. I don't know. All right, on three, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Bye.
Bye.